Good afternoon. My name is Victoria Howell. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about engineering leadership and our newest inaugural program for ELPP alumni graduates, the Engineering Leadership Professional Program Plus. I'll take about 10 minutes and share some key slides with you and some new information. The newest of new information is that the program has been pushed back. We're starting November 11th as opposed to October, and we'll go through May. Second part of the newest of new information, we will have a graduation event. It'll be optional, but it'll be in person at UC Berkeley. And third, we've got some great new opportunities for coaching for you. So let me go ahead and talk to you and share my slides, please. So the Engineering Leadership Professional Program is so pleased to have gotten information and from a task force of individuals and alumni on what they wanted to do next. Somebody from VMware actually had said, so what do we do now that we've done our ELPP? And I didn't actually have an answer for that until now. Welcome and thank you all alumni who've already given your input on what you would hope for next. I'll talk a little bit about alumni updates, eligibility, what a snapshot of the program, key faculty and next steps. Some updates on alumni. I'm sure you have your own updates, but HUMU was launched by Wayne Crosby as a co-founder. He is an ELPP alum. Miller Allen has started something as Cal Alumni. He started an alumni organization. That's fantastic. What about you? Who's ELPP++ designed for? It's a cohort of ELPP grads, up to 20 in the cohort. You must have completed ELPP Silicon Valley or global. Individuals are nominated by companies, or they're self-nominated with individual applications. The difference is, one, your company is probably sponsoring you and paying for it, and the other, you're paying for that yourself. You also are united in your desire to build off of the ELPP foundational learnings and focus on the next stage of your career, which is probably likely to include further innovation and further management. So, the cost for the program is $12,800. That covers you for 6 months. It's a virtual and synchronous program, meaning that we're online, but we meet in person. It is not a video that you watch later, although we'll likely be recording if you want to follow up later. We meet once a month. My apologies, the slide is not updated. It's not October through March on Thursdays. It's actually November through May on Thursdays. And in addition, you'll have one-on-one 20-minute mentoring opportunities with faculty and experiential coaching. What I heard you all say is that what you all need now that you want more of, or you didn't feel like you got enough of in ELPP, is advanced technology strategy. 2, adaptive leadership, more on leadership and mainly leading and coaching your teams. 3, next level influence. You learned a lot from Holly Schroet and her negotiations course, but you want even more, how to influence those around you, how to influence up and down. 4th, financial fluency. You learned from Sunil Utpak quite a bit about accounting and reading financial statements, but this is using metrics and finance in order to influence management in the company, your board, putting in place key metrics for progress. 5th, navigating uncertainty. That has never been more important than as we've all gone through the COVID pandemic. We have heard that you all want to understand when things are kind of crazy around you, you don't have a place to start. You're not solving a problem as an engineer, but having to look a little bit broader. How do you do that? And 6th, last but not least, personal branding. What can you do to help promote yourself even more? So we launched the course by talking about advanced technology strategy. That is on November 11th with both Iklak Sidhu and Mike Grandinetti, looking at a new case featuring the entrepreneur Oren Hoffman and Data Graph. Then we go into adaptive leadership and next level influence. Homa Barami joins us from Berkeley Haas. I guess I should note that these are award-winning instructors from UC Berkeley and MIT and Harvard, in Mike's case, and Homa from UC Berkeley. She'll do a very interactive session, and there'll be some pre-work required where she'll go into the type of team that you have and how you can best manage them. That is in December. In January, it's followed by Holly Schroet, somebody that you all know and recognize if you've taken ELPP. She has next level influence as a course for you all as a session. Then after Holly, actually, if you look at the chart, we go into navigating uncertainty, and we are thrilled that a consultant from Accenture is going to be joining us. The market maker, Dan Kavanaugh, will give his hints using a case, talking about how when you enter a room, you don't know who's the decision maker, how you figure that out, how you work with them, how you keep on working with them, and how you put some stakes in the ground in order to move a project forward if you don't know exactly where to begin and if it's a moving target. I think this is something that consultants are incredibly skilled at. Dan's spent decades in this area and will be fantastic as an instructor for us. In addition, during that session, Ashima Gul, who's also an ELPP alum and a certified coach currently working at VMware, will join us, and she will offer some individualized coaching, talk about what coaching is about and how you can best take advantage of that. Ashima and perhaps one other individual will be joining us in addition to the instructors as your personal coaches. Then in March, William Aruda, who basically founded the idea of personal branding and has been a coach on both the East and West Coast, and is actually an engineer, will be joining us to talk about what you can do for your personal branding and promotion. And then we go into financial fluency with Gareth Noyes. Gareth is actually a rocket scientist. He worked at CERN for a while at Collider. He's currently the chief strategy officer at Wind River. They've been acquired by Intel, and now I think they're spun out again. But he has a lot of thoughts on what metrics you need to run your business as an engineer, as a leader, and what metrics different individuals are looking for, if those are peers, the C-level of your company, or even the board of directors. So those are the 6 modules that we'll be covering in the course. In addition, as I mentioned, you'll have one-on-one mentoring, and then we'll wrap it up with a lovely and fairly intimate, yet safe graduation ceremony for you all, and certificate ceremony. So it'll be 6 months of work. You'll have your advanced engineering leadership certificate by the end, and hopefully a really core group of individuals for your ecosystem that include not only your cohort, but also the professors, the instructors, and the coaches. A little bit more on each of those professors, instructors, and coaches. Iklak Sidhu, you know, he is the author of Innovation Engineering, the creator of ELPP and the Popular Data X course, holds 75 patents. He comes from Industry Use Inventor of the Year at 3Com, and he is the founding director for the Sutardja Center for Entrepreneurship and Technology. Mike Grandinetti has taught at Harvard, at MIT, at Brown. He's I believe, a Brandeis grad in engineering, and he has been teaching a lot on innovating under adversity as of late. His quote is, "An education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire." And Mike is an East Coaster who definitely is on fire. He has worked in the Valley as well, at companies, done some startups that were acquired by IBM and Oracle. Homa Barami joins us to talk about coaching and leadership. She has had very popular articles in California Management. She talks about super flexibility and managing behavior in organizations. She'll be a fun addition for us. Holly Schroet, somebody that you are probably familiar with and one of the best instructors in negotiations and influence that I have ever encountered. That is not just for me, but most of your students as well. Garrett Noyes joins us to talk about finance. He's got 20 years experience in the technology sector and has been in a number of positions from strategy, focusing on M&A and CTO. And as I mentioned earlier, he was a rocket scientist at CERN. Dan Kavanaugh is a market maker and senior executive at Accenture. This is a chart on the right that shows a little bit who the market makers are and where that happens. Accenture, you see, is all the way at the top right. And he is someone who can help us figure out how to put the stakes in the ground and move the conversation in the right direction. William Arruda, the father of personal branding, will join us. He is a prolific author of Ditch, Dare, Do, Digital You, Career Distinction, Stand Out for Building Your Brand. I think he will be a wonderful addition because he happens to also have a degree in engineering. What are your next steps? We're looking for HR and L&D leads to nominate up to 4 individuals per cohort, or independents to apply, looking at the SCET.berkeley.edu professional program site. There's a website here called ELPP++, and prepare for your first class November 11th. Wishing you all a very good evening. Happy to take any questions you may have. My email is vhowell@berkeley.edu. It's a pleasure to welcome you to this inaugural program. I know you'll enjoy it. We'll be taking applications actually now until the end of October. Take good care.